My Time at Sandrock, the latest title from developer Pathea, is all about saving a town from the brink of collapse and restoring it to its former glory. It is ironic then that while its foundations are absolutely solid, it performs so poorly and looks so awful on the Nintendo Switch that it's hard to ever feel like it's truly been fixed. While I suspect many My Time at Porsche fans and fans of life sims in general will get a kick out of Sandrock on any other platform, those who play exclusively on the Switch should probably stay away. My Time at Sandrock starts you off as a customizable builder, heading to the once prosperous town of Sandrock with a dream of making a difference. Once there, you'll meet the mostly friendly locals, be set up with your own workshop and house, and tasked with doing odd jobs around town. The setup is pretty solid owing to the game's pithy writing and general sense of familiarity. There's a surprising amount of depth here, albeit nothing drastically special, enough at least to draw you in and keep you engrossed for its surprisingly long runtime. Fortunately, there's an abundance of other things to do if the story doesn't quite grip your attention. You'll find a plethora of side content to complete with side quests popping up on your map practically all of the time. They're not made equal, with some amounting to little more than simple fetch quests, but if it's with one of the more interesting NPCs, then you're likely to be captivated. Beyond that, you'll find minigames to take part in, including a surprisingly deep arcade with its own roguelike RPG, and of course, the main gameplay loop. My Time at Sandrock sees you fixing up things around town to help restore it to its former glory. As such, you'll be building anything from cranes to lower you into the old world, to a stage broken after a sandstorm swept through town. However, it's not as simple as merely collecting a bunch of resources and calling it a day. Rather, you'll need to craft the necessary stations which refine the materials you need to make the individual parts. Fortunately, despite feeling initially overwhelming, My Time at Sandrock is a surprisingly accessible title. It'll not only tell you which resources you need, but also how and where to get them, a neat little touch which enables you to be constantly foraging for materials instead of twiddling your thumbs wondering what to do next. Additionally, your inventory can be expanded at any time for an increasing cost, ensuring if you're out in the wild and suddenly run out of space, you'll still be able to take absolutely everything home. When you're not building or fighting or exploring, you can chat with the locals. Unfortunately, this was one aspect of Sandrock I didn't quite enjoy. While there are a handful of interesting NPCs who seem to have been given the most time in the writer's room, there were so many that felt just like blank slates. You have a number of options when speaking to them, but they'll usually just spout off one-liners, which apparently increases your relationship with them. It's a nice addition to an already stacked game, but not one I necessarily found myself gravitating towards. Unfortunately, despite the many positives of My Time at Sandrock, the Nintendo Switch port is atrocious. The game runs terribly, not just in the slightly busy town, but even when you're out exploring the desert or building in your workshop. The frame rate drops constantly, sometimes coming to an agonizing crawl, making it almost unplayable at times. It's a shame, as there are moments in which Sandrock can look pretty good, especially the interiors, which are often quite detailed, but for the most part the low-res textures let down the overall art direction. Even in its most beautiful moments, the pop-in is so egregious, with practically every element of the world loading in as slowly as possible, that any semblance of immersion is immediately dissipated. Ultimately, this means that while My Time at Sandrock is an enjoyable and at times great game, the Nintendo Switch is absolutely not the place to play it. On any other console, I can easily recommend this game, and I'd happily give it an 8, but on the Switch, even with the promised fixes that are coming post-launch, it's just not worth your time. Perhaps in a few months after patches, it might be worth checking back in, but for right now, play My Time at Sandrock on another platform, or not at all. The game creator is giving My Time at Sandrock a 5 out of 10. Make sure to like and subscribe for more reviews just like this one.